Hello everyone, and welcome to today's edition of the Cheap Meal presented by Deep Fried Draft. My name is Brian Bosarge. We just got a few more trades here to clear up. I believe four. Some other prospect related news and some site stuff to clean up. We're going to get all that. Let's get into the trades that have happened in the last week. The Oakland Raiders have acquired a 2018 fifth round pick from the New England Patriots in exchange for a sixth round pick in this year's draft and wide receiver Cordero Patterson. Patterson probably doesn't fit in the offense that John Gruden wants to run, so they get a little something back for him. Oakland also gets another fifth round pick in this year's draft from Dallas in exchange for a sixth round. So apparently Oakland's just getting rid of all their sixth round picks and getting fifths and unloading players that don't fit their scheme anymore as they unload to Dallas fullback Jameez Olawale. So the rare fullback trade happened, but Oakland gets a 5 there, Dallas gets a 6 in the fullback. In the biggest trade this week, the Giants trade defensive end Jason Pierre-Paul. The teams will also swap fourth round picks, which is in essence Tampa Bay gets to move up like 6 spots in the fourth round. The Giants also get Tampa Bay's third round pick in this draft. What does this mean for the Giants? Almost immediately, every mock draft that came out after this trade had the Giants pouncing on NC State edge rusher Bradley Chubb, and that may very well happen. What it sounds like to me is the Giants, this might be the Giants saying, hey, we're about to go full-on rebuild mode. And if that's the case, you may see Odell Beckham, possibly. The rumors are out there that Odell Beckham could be traded in the next few weeks. If that's to happen, then yes, you could probably signal the rebuild is on. And if that's the case, if you are in full-on rebuild mode, then I think the Giants take a quarterback at 2. So we'll see what happens there. Denver adds to their offensive line. They acquire Jared Veldheer, who had played left tackle for the Arizona. Who played left tackle. Excuse me. They acquired Veldheer, who had played left tackle for Arizona. He's going to play right tackle for Denver. In exchange, the Cardinals get a 6th round pick in this year's draft. So that clears up all the draft trades from the week. A little draft broadcast news. We had spoken earlier, maybe a couple weeks ago, that Fox was going to simulcast, like Network Fox was going to simulcast the NFL Network's draft coverage for rounds 1 through 3. It was announced this week that Troy Aikman was going to join the NFL Network broadcast to be the Fox element on there, I guess. So ESPN has decided to combat that by trying to bring in some more of the college audience. They're going to do a college game day style show outside of AT&T Stadium 2 hours before the first round of the draft, and they're going to have almost like they do with the national championship game, where they do all the different broadcasts all across their platform of networks, but they're going to do a college themed show going on simultaneously with the draft for at least day 1 on ESPN2, and that'll have your college analysts like David Pollack and those cast of guys talking about the draft on ESPN2. And for day 3, they're going to simulcast the draft on ABC for rounds 4 through 7. which is a good thing. Like I said, anytime you get more eyeballs on the draft, it if you believe in the trickle down effect, it could trickle down an audience to smaller guys like me. More people will get interested in the draft. More people will search out draft related stuff. It could eventually filter down to, places like Deep Fried Draft, which I think is a good thing. So, I remember when I used to have to watch the crawl at the bottom of a crappy NASCAR race on a Sunday just to see who got picked in the 5th and 6th and 7th rounds. That was the thing. I had to do that. It sucked. But it's what you did. If you wanted to know who your team drafted in 94, 95, unless you wanted to wait for the newspaper the next day to come out and it would tell you. Newspapers. Ugh. Anyway. So that's that. As far as the draft broadcast goes. Should be interesting. Oh, also, as far as ESPN's coverage goes, at least for day one, Kirk Herbstreit will be joining their broadcast team, replacing John Gruden. Draft-related news: Maurice Hurst, defensive lineman from Michigan, was held out of the combine workouts. Flagged for a heart issue, has been cleared by cardiologists. Multiple cardiologists have cleared Maurice Hurst, saying he's good to go for football activities. He participated in Michigan's Pro Day the other day, so that also seems to clear the way for him to be a potential first-round pick in this year's draft. So good for Maurice Hurst getting that bill of health cleared there. And some weird news. Rookie wide receiver Zay Jones, who struggled for Buffalo this year after being a second-round pick that they traded up for, had a bizarre incident in L.A. where he was butt naked, trying to jump out of a window, kick himself out of a window. His brother Caleb, who plays for the Vikings, basically was there to try to talk him down or save him or whatever, and he ends up getting arrested for felony vandalism or whatever it was. But it's just a weird story. I met Zay Jones at the Senior Bowl, 2017 Senior Bowl. One of the most well-spoken, polite young men that I've spoken to in 3 years. There, the last person I would have thought, or one of the last people I would have thought that this would come from. So I don't know if he was some medication issues or what, but I hope Zay gets the help he needs and put this behind him and have a normal life. So anyway, let's get to some site cleanup here. As you all know by now, I also do a little side writing there for WBLZmedia.com. A couple articles up there this week I think you'll be interested in. I did an article where I basically did a Bengals only mock draft where I attempt to fix the Bengals. If that can happen, probably not. But you can read that on there. Also I did my first college football exclusive articles there this week where I previewed or answered some question marks there for each team in the SEC. What the biggest questions they face going into the 2018 season. There was an East and a West preview. You can check that out at WBLZmedia.com. As far as DeepFriedDraft.com, 5 new DFD recipes have been uploaded in the last week. A couple Iowa players, their center James Daniels and corner Josh Jackson. Boise linebacker Leighton Vander Esch. Texas offensive tackle Connor Williams, and Ohio State corner Denzel Ward. You can read all those at the DFD Cookbook, DeepFriedDraft.com. Also, DeepFriedDraft.com, 5th mock draft is up. It's a little bit different than the last few we've had. We're starting to, maybe fill out, get a better clue of what's happening. The more and more you read and see, the more and more it sounds like Sam Darnold's going to be the top pick for the Browns. So I'm almost about ready to put that one in with pen. But we'll have at least 2 to 3 more, definitely 2, maybe 3 more mock drafts between now and April 25th. April 25th. That's the day before the draft. That'll be the final. That will be the final mock draft on April 25. I think, yes, I am going to do the random mock draft I did last year. That'll be a YouTube video as well as a post on deepfrieddraft.com. The random mock draft. I had a lot of fun with that last year, and we're going to do that again, where I take 50 players that I feel that I hear are potential guys that could get drafted in the first round, because you'll always hear at least 50. I put their names in a hat, and I go down the draft order and draw their names out one by one, show the camera who it is, so they don't think I'm bullshitting. And but it's fun. It had some interesting results last year, so we're gonna do that again. That's gonna do it for today's edition of the Cheat Meal. As always, follow me on Twitter at deepfrieddraft, facebook.com/deepfrieddraft, YouTube, search Deep Fried Draft, hit subscribe. Bumpers app, haven't done one of those in a while, but download that in the App Store if you're a loyal Apple customer, and subscribe to Deep Fried Draft there for all my podcasts. Deepfrieddraft.com, WBLZmedia.com is where you find everything that I'm going to write for the NFL draft. Thanks, everybody.